Wow, what's cracking with y'all? It's your boy, Prince Hustle God, aka Chief Loader Madman, aka Michelangelo Turner. And we reaching in our combat tool bag one more again. Yes, sir, it's a cold black affair. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. LDBC only, LDBC or nothing, LDBC versus everybody, LDBC everywhere. You already know how we get down. Just for starters, there's three ways to support the channel, family. Three ways to support the channel. Way number one, shopusualsuspect6.com. Shopusualsuspect6.com. Support all of the usual suspects. Those are my brothers, amazing moguls, amazing minds. Um, Please check out the combat tool bag gear while there. We have new additions. We have everything you can think of: combat tool bag, shoes, shirts. We got everything. Way number two to support the channel. We have the Hustle God series on Amazon.com. It's a 4-book series on financial literacy. So please check that out. You can type in Hustle God series, or you can type in Michelangelo Turner on Amazon.com. That's a way of supporting this channel. Purchase a book. We got 4 of them, and it'll help get them gears going in the financial realm. And way number three, you can sponsor a creator. You can sponsor an athlete by diving in the Cash App. It's money sign Hustle God Inc. That's money sign Hustle God Inc. And those are the three ways of supporting this channel. It doesn't have to be while we're live. It can be just when we're top of mind. So much love for everyone who's coming through as we get down and as we get started on this, and much love for everybody who catches the replay. Today, uh, hopefully everything goes according to plan, but today is the boxing breakdown, but it'll be a bit different today. This will be the boxing breakdown with an interview. So this will be ideally I have an interview set up with Coach Mike out of Florida, and we're waiting for him to click in now. But we know people have technical difficulties logging in on YouTube. But he was a coach who's working with a fighter who fought on the same card that I did on my last card, and the coach himself, he has a lot of promise. Um, he has a high IQ himself, and his fighter, his fighter has a lot of potential, a lot of dog, and has a future, I'd say. Um, let's see so far while we're waiting if anyone's come through in the chat. Feel free to come through in the chat if you have any questions you want me to ask our guest. He's a coach out of Florida. Um, I can ask him some questions when he clicks in. I want to check on our guest. Give me 1 second. If we still alive, I ain't never jumped off that before. Yeah, we still alive. Um, Again, just as a reminder, we're um, we're trying to do something. I'm not sure a lot of people are used to. So there are some technical difficulties, but it'll be an interview with Michelangelo, interview and Coach Mike out of Florida, and basically about his start, how he's gotten involved in boxing and shit like that. And if he can't connect in, because I'm not seeing our guest connecting in, then we got a backup plan, and we can talk some boxing just to get caught up. Um, we can talk about where I left off last. We can talk about what's been going on in boxing lately. Um, shit. So there's definitely always something we can get busy on. And again, shout out to the family who been rocking with me from one. Shout out to the family uh, who been supporting me whenever they ain't even realize what they were signing up for. You know what I mean? Just shout out to everybody in the LDBC, the TWT, the Trilitary, everybody. Um, love everybody. Give me 1 second. See if I can check on this guy one more again. And if it's a no go, then this shit looking funny. All right, yeah. So what we will do, guys, is this will be a recap. We're gonna go over a recap of you already know this is Boxing Weekly / the Boxing Breakdown, and if we're not doing an intensive breakdown in boxing, we're gonna be recapping boxing, reviewing boxing, or doing film studies for the most part on this channel. We have a lot coming in the future that I'm sure you guys will love. It's still battle based, fitness based, tech based, and Afro based. Um, but what we're going to do as of right now, seeing as these technical difficulties don't seem to have any signs of resolution, we'll get started with our backup topics and talk some boxing. And then if our guests can figure it out, then we'll beeline onto the interview and keep it cooking that way. But let's start with me as a fighter. Let's start with Michelangelo Turner and my presentation of self as a professional boxer from debut to now, and uh, we can discuss the future. No, excuse me, guys. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me, guys. 1 second. Yeah, yeah. Alrighty. Let me remix this
What's
real
up,
quick.
brother? What's up, brother?
Juan, what's cracking with you, man? What's cracking? Appreciate you stopping by. Was you having some technical difficulties?
Yeah, man, my bad.
No, you good. You good. You good. All right, so I'm gonna just re up. I thought we had to work on some backup topics. So welcome. This channel is called Combat Tool Bag. So our little slogan is we reaching in our combat tool bag again, and we heavy on our code black shit here. So
Okay.
code fair and we black first over here. So but just for starters, everybody, welcome. We're doing the interview. This is the boxing breakdown. The one of the shows that we have here on this channel, and we're members of the LDBC, affiliates of TWT and the Trilitary. But essentially, we're boxing lovers. We're boxing lovers, and we support our people. So I wanted to get you here on this platform because I got a good vibe from you as a high boxing IQ. I got a good
Yes, sir.
vibe from you as a coach, and I wanted to see if I could help you with help get your name out there. See if we could help um, get some eyes on you and your fighter because I
Yes,
think
sir.
you have a lot to offer as a coach, and I think he has a lot to offer as a fighter. So that said, uh, who are you and where are you from?
So my name is Mike Riley. I'm from Tampa, Florida. Yeah, I live here in Tampa right now. I was born and raised in Florida. I mean, I've been here my whole life.
Dope. And Mike, how did you get into boxing? And even more specifically, how did you get into boxing, and how did you become a coach?
So I actually got into boxing back in 2013 is when I started like taking it serious. I went to college in Ohio. I was up in a little small town called Defiance, and
Mhm.
when I got there, I was playing ball. And then it was the off season. I was like, I just wanted to find something to do to stay in shape. And one of those guys that I knew, he ended up going to a boxing gym that was in town, and he ended up winning Golden Gloves. So he was like, "Yo, bro, like you can come just get some workouts in and stuff like that." So I ended up going there, and honestly, man, like first time I hit the bag, I was like, "Bro, like I love this shit, man.
Yeah.
I really want to compete. You know what I mean?" So I ended up going to a gym in Wasion, Ohio, which is like another little small town, probably like 30 minutes over. I went there for a while, and then that's when I ended up deciding I was gonna move back to Florida. So when I came back to Tampa, I ended up going to bounce around a couple gyms, trying to find the right fit for me, and then I ended up linking up with my coach that I ended up actually bringing my fighter to. My fighter, like I said, me and him, we've been best friends since elementary school, and we both went to college to play football. And like I said, honestly, football didn't work out for him either. So I mentioned it to him. I was like, "Look, man, like come get on this boxing grind." You know what I mean? Like my fighter, he had one state champion wrestler 3 years in high school, 3 out of his 4 years in high school. So I was like, you already got the talent and stuff. You know what I mean? Just come in, let's grind. So I ended up getting him, and we honestly pretty much started like competing around the exact same time. We both ended up competing in Sugarbird. I ended up coming ranked number one in the nation at 141 pounds. I was actually about to go pro about 2 years ago, but I scratched my cornea and my retina. And honestly, I ended up scratching it in both of my eyes. And when I went to the eye doctor the last time, doctor told me like if I get any type of abrasion again, I might lose my vision. So
Mm,
I had to take a step back from competing, which that killed me, man. Because like I said, I was ranked number one, man. Like I felt great. Like I had hella promoters that wanted to sponsor me and stuff like that. But I mean, after talking to my wife and stuff, I got three little ones. She was like, it's not worth going blind, And then, like I said, we're talking to my fighter, and I explained him the situation. He's like, "Look, bro, like you way too intelligent, to not be competing, or at least passing on your knowledge." So that's when I was like, you know what? It took me a little while to actually decide that I want to coach, man, because like I was bummed out that I couldn't compete myself, and I just felt like that was selfish of me, like to not not pass on what I know to somebody, So honestly, I just got into coaching. I've been working with I got my one pro fighter, Nissan Anderson, the Grim Reaper. That's the one that you met. I
mm,
work with him, and I help train a couple other pro guys. But like they're not actually my fighter. Like Grim Reaper, that's legit my fighter. And then I work with some younger guys, that I'm bringing up in the amateurs right now. But honestly, man, my main focus really has just been working with the Grim Reaper right now, trying to get him better. You know what I mean? Like I said, I want to see him succeed like bad, man. So
yeah.
that like I said, that's my main priority. And then I help out at the gyms and stuff like that as well. So
Yeah. I'm I have a similar path to you, man. That's kind of crazy. Like, so I got a list of questions that I wrote in order, but bro, just I knew this is why I wanted to have you on here. There's so many ways we can go. So I went to college. I was right next door to you. I'm from Pittsburgh, and I was in Pittsburgh.
okay,
I
okay,
found this shit getting out of jail and shit, but I went to college at Point Park University. So I wanted to
okay.
ask you, what was your major, and then what was it that changed you from football to boxing?
So my major was nursing. I always wanted to be a nurse. I love being in the hospital, man. I like helping people, as you see with where I'm coaching and stuff like that. And honestly, what was it for me that got me into boxing? Honestly, I really think like not even to be selfish, but like in my high school, I've never been on a winning team. As crazy as that sounds, like I've never been on a team. Like I've never played
Same.
a team sport, and like we won a championship or something like that. Like in my high school, like we ain't never go to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like nothing like that. So when I got to boxing, I realized that like, okay, this is the one sport that like I can take it serious and I can do it as great as I want to do, and I don't technically have to depend on the next slacker. I don't
Right.
have nobody holding me back. Like boxing is the one sport that I've realized that it's like basically you hold yourself accountable. You know what I mean? Like it's the one sport that no matter what, I get in there and yeah, my coach helps me and stuff, but I'm the one that got to win or lose. You know what I mean? I'm the one that take the shots. I'm the one that dish out the shots. So with that being said, I was like, like I said, I felt like I can be a winner. I can be a winner in this, and I really got nobody else to blame for why I can't win. You know what I mean? So shit, man, I just got my grind on, and like I said, I seen it happening before my eyes. Like hard work do pay off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the backtrack, I fucks with you, but in the backtrack, bro, like with your major and you becoming a coach, like yes, everything didn't work out in the way that you had it planned, but you said it that somebody told you you was smart and you was too smart to let this go. Did you see any connection or cohesion between the medical field and the war arts field? And do you think is that something that can you elaborate on the connection between the medical field and your place and role in fighting as a coach? And before you do that, I wanted to say, Queen Tay Tay, thank you for stopping by. Queen Ashley, the first lady of boxing, thank you for stopping by. Just so
Yeah,
you know,
appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
these are people who are affiliated with bigger groups, and they represent a collective. These two young ladies who just spoke, they have audiences way bigger than mine, and we got like 400 subs over here, and they doing big things over here, and they're excellent analysts at the sport too. So if you see any questions that jump out, definitely stop me and answer them. But yeah, as far as like is there anything in the medical field, like obviously there's a connection between knowing how to break down the anatomy and knowing how to heal it. So I'm just curious on what created that affinity, for the opposite.
Honestly, like you said, I mean, it really is kind of something that I felt like went hand to hand. You know what I mean? Like with me being into the medical field, and like you said, studying the body, studying how the physique actually takes a toll on the body and stuff like that,
Yeah.
without taking punishment. You know what I mean? And then knowing, like you said, how to nurture your body as well as dealing with that pain and continuing to thrive on in the middle of a fight. You know what I mean? Like it takes a
Yes.
lot. To me, combat sports are one of the hardest sports that there are. You know what I mean? Because it's more mental than it is physical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To tell yourself alone, to prepare yourself to going into, like you said, a war, knowing that you're going to be possibly, taking damage, and this guy is coming at you with everything, or a woman that's coming at you with everything that they got. You know what I mean? It's different to continue to push and want to persevere and win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have a lot that's going to help people. This is going to be a little bit longer than 30 minutes. I do apologize, but you gotta fuck with us. I'm telling you, it's going to help a lot of people. That said, you hinted at a lot with your knowledge of the body, and I do want to ask, how would you describe your style and approach to boxing? Like it can be your style as a fighter, how you were when you were fighting, and how you're how you're using that to approach the game differently, or the style that you're teaching, uh, in in its difference in how other people approach the game. You feel me?
Okay. So that's a good question. So with me, honestly, my type of fighter. So I'm 5'11". I usually weighed in at around 135. That's where I felt comfortable at 135. I walked around at like 140. So honestly, for me, the 135 was just where I felt, at my best. And honestly, like I said, with me being so tall and lanky, like I'm more of an outside fighter. Honestly, I'm kind of I would be what people would call probably a boring fighter. Like if you came to see me fight, a lot of people might think my fights was boring because again, I use my brain. I'm not going out there to brawl. I'm not finna stand toe to toe and just exchange shots with a guy just to see
You
to
mean a
please the
high IQ
crowd.
boxer?
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna stand at my distance and I'm just gonna tag you up all day. You know, honestly, like you say, what people say with Floyd. Like Floyd was a big motivation for me, and I'm sure that every fighter gonna say, you know, they like Floyd, and obviously, you know, he got the flashy stuff and the money, but I like Floyd's mentality when he went into boxing. I teach my people. Floyd say he treated boxing like a sword fight. He say if you went into a sword fight with somebody, how many times do you want to get cut? You know what I mean?
Hey,
Like legit. Tell
hey,
yourself that like if me and you have swords and we finna fight to the death, we ain't gonna say hey, up front, bro. Look, let's take turns stabbing each other, you know, and see who you know who's the more macho. So why would you get
right?
in the ring and try to do that same shit? You know what I mean? I get it. You want to please
Yeah,
the crowd, but at the same time, it's an art to the war. You know what I mean? The best
it's a
swordsmen,
science
listen,
for a reason.
that shit looks smooth. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't gonna get touched. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's the way that I took it. Was like, look, this shot the punishment, like Floyd say, hit and not be hit. You know what I mean? Um, so I was southpaw. I'm sorry, I was orthodox. Before I started boxing, I was southpaw. And then when I met my coach, and he told me he was like, "What hand do you write with?" And I was like, "Well, I'm right-handed." He was like, "Well, then you don't need to be fighting in the southpaw stance. You know, that's your power hand. You need to fight, you know, in orthodox." So I'm like, all right, I tried it out, and honestly, from the first time like I got in my southpaw stance and I threw my straight left, I realized how weak it was. I was like, yeah, nah, man, that's it, man. Like I can't be doing that.
yeah. Hey, real quick, before moving forward, I
Yeah,
want to say you said most people would say your style is boring. You're the audience you have here, and what's cracking Cuzzo the Soul Power Gamed Up Kennels, and everybody who's stopping through. You're we recognize that that's high IQ boxing, and the other thing I wanted to say is when you related it to sword play, I have other martial arts experience, so the only footwork I see is similar to boxing is that of wrestling and that of fencing.
yep,
So
yep, yep. Defensive, yep, yep,
when you think of fencing and you think of sword fighting, that wasn't a bald point at the end of fencing, you'd be dead every
yep,
time you
yep,
got hit with a jab or a straight right.
yep,
So you're absolutely right to be a high IQ boxer. And thirdly, I wanted to say there's proof in that by you saying you won the Burt competition. So
yep,
you feel me? Like that in itself ain't nobody just rolling like getting in the boxing and rolling out the bed and just winning one of them
right,
competitions. Those
right,
are well
right. And I actually
renowned.
won it 3 times too.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Talk
Yes,
to
sir.
him. Talk
Yes,
to him.
sir.
So again, like I'm not gonna hit all of the questions because we're gonna have to get the part two with you and your fighter,
Yes,
and we're
sir.
gonna have to get actually a part two with just you as well. But
Okay.
let's get to some of these other questions, and if there's questions in the chat, people throw your questions out there. Coach Mike here, he'll get right to them, and you can ask him questions about being a fighter himself, or about being a coach, or anything under the sun. You know, being a Florida native who was up in the East. You feel me?
Yep,
Who
yep.
anything you want. But
Real quick. So I did want to touch on. I seen one question. Somebody asked me about how I feel about MMA. Real quick. So personally, again, I'm not gonna bash the sport because again, I'm a fighter. I like the sport. But I think MMA is a little too gruesome for me. I like they call boxing the gentleman's sport for a reason. You know, I believe in I respect that. I like that having that respect that when I hit a guy or I get hit by a guy and I fall down, he's done. Like there's no more reason for me to take a punishment after I done you done knock me down or you done knock me out. You know, and in the MMA you see these guys they get knocked out cold and then they able to hammer fist them and bang their head on the floor for like four or five more shots. Like
yeah,
with that part, I don't like that part. You know what I mean? Everything else about it, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's a combat sport. You fight and you're supposed to protect yourself, and it is entertaining. But like I said, I don't like the way that. that the fighters aren't protected. Basically, after they hit the floor, you know what I mean. They these guys really get beat down. You know what I mean, and that's just
Yeah.
a little too rough for me. Like I said for myself, I wish I could still compete, but I can't because I got a scratch cornea. You know, imagine
Hmm.
these guys that got taking these all these shots to the brain, smacking their head on
Yeah.
the floor. Like they're not gonna be able to do this stuff long. Which it may be something that they enjoy, but it's not gonna be longevity behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. And hey, I like to say like I'm glad you said that because coming from a person who's done both in the amateurs, very brief amateur stint, like nothing like yours, but I've done some MMA and I've done some boxing in the amateurs, and like USA boxing system is a lot more structured, and
Yep.
even when it comes to the pros, like
Yep.
the referees are different in
I agree.
boxing than they are in mixed martial arts. So the behind the head shots, the
Yep.
a lot of things that like nuanced things that we're used to seeing at a high level, they're not privy to. So that one shot that you're talking about, that's one past he's been done.
Yep.
Those are the life changing shots that we're talking about that can take people's lives, that can put
Yep.
people in coma. So
Yep.
I I can understand there, but I put a lot of that fault in the fact that the 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 sweet science is designed for almost long distance. I mean, like long distance fight. Like uh, back in the days, there were rounds fights that went on for 36 rounds. You
Right.
know,
Right.
like in mixed martial arts, they fight for 15 minutes or they fight for 25 minutes,
Right.
and it's like they never fight as long as a boxer fights for 36 minutes. You feel me? And it's like mixed martial arts seems to be the sport for finishing, the way you can break someone's arms or knock them out. And
Yep.
it's like the sweet science is still the Marcus of Queenberry's rules. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a subtle,
I agree.
but but yeah, like I'm glad you are transparent on your opinion on that. Real quick, what are your dreams, your goals, your expectations from the sport? Um, yeah,
Uh,
talk to me
so,
about that.
so to be honest, I ain't gonna lie. I was just talking to my fighter about this. My dream, I actually want to be a referee. Like I actually said that I really would like to be a professional referee. I still would always want to coach. I can always share my knowledge, but I always said again, it's kind of selfish. I said the referee got the best seat in the house for a fight. You know what I mean? Like I'm keeping the G. Nobody has a better view than the ref. You know what I mean? And
Uh,
obviously, you got to know how to move. You got to know how to move in there. To stay safe yourself. But still, like, and then again, because like I said, I like helping people because I was in that medical field. I don't mind being in there, and I wouldn't mind handling that pressure of having to save somebody or maybe being the judge to say that somebody can go a little bit further. You know what I mean? And like I said, for me, I don't know. I want to be involved in the sport. Like I said, coaching. I could definitely be involved with coaching, but with being a ref, like I don't have to have let's just say a fighter. You know what I mean? I can just show up to any event anywhere, whether it's amateur or pros, and I can, get out there and do what I love at the same time. So
Bro, your name is Michael. You're a coach. You're a boxer. My name is Michelangelo. I'm a coach. I'm a boxer. You got amateurs you working with. I got amateurs I'm working with. I got a pro that I'm somebody I'm trying to turn pro right now. It's like we got a lot of similarities, but that last part, bro, I went through the whole the referee training. The only
yeah,
thing I didn't do after the safe sport and all of that
yeah,
was the final part. And the final part, I'm gonna let you in on this, and this is why I don't fuck with it. And the only reason I'm not a referee right now is because you have to pay your dues. How they pay their dues is they have to be shown the ropes on how to referee from other referees. And it's the fraternity of referees. And the issue with that is we know the reason you want to be a referee, the reason I wanted to be a referee is to clean the sport up,
and
not to be
and
guided by dirty motherfuckers. You feel me? Because if they don't feel like in all this time you have to spend being groomed by them doing free fights before you can
right,
start getting paid,
right,
you got to be trained by the Jack Reeses and the Lawrence
yeah,
Coles, all of
yeah,
these
yeah,
people
yeah, 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 man, I got you.
background. So that's the one aspect that I didn't do. And it's like I every day, I mean not every day, but every year I get the USA Boxing alert from when I first took it saying, you're done with your safe sport. Would you like to continue to your referee track or your
Yeah.
officials track? And
Yeah.
it's like it we have different aspirations than I feel this sport will
Yep.
truly allow a good hearted person to be.
See,
You know,
and I'm glad that you shared that with me because honestly, like you said, man, that's exactly the type of mentality that I would have. Like you said, we coming into the sport with right intentions. You know what I mean? And I've experienced that alone just from being in the amateurs. About like you said, these reps, and then I'll never forget my first time going to my first local pro fight, and I seen that the refs for the pro fights were the same ones that we had at our amateur fights.
yes
Bro,
sir,
I'm talking about
yes
like,
sir.
bro, it blew my whole mind because I'm talking one ref, like I really personally felt like one ref didn't like me. And look, check this out, Mike. His name was Michael. Like I don't know, I swear to God, his ref named Michael, bro. And like I don't know what it was, but I really me and my team, me and my old coach, and then Nissan, we all said they just didn't like us because we literally came up like out the mud. We didn't go to a
Yes,
gym like everybody else. Like my coach built the gym at his house, and we showed up to the fights and we was beating everybody down. You know what I mean? And like they didn't like that. They didn't like that. They didn't. We was unaffiliated. That's what I think. Say
right,
unaffiliated. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, and they didn't like that we was just I'm keeping it deep. Three
Because you're
black
not part
people,
of the agenda.
huh?
It's because you're not part of the agenda. You're not
Exactly.
already bought. You don't come with this package deal
Yep.
that involves everybody else winning.
Yep.
You guys are the upset team. You're
Yep.
coming in as the
Yep.
B side, right?
Yep. Every
And
every
if they
time.
can't B side ref you, if they can't B side ref you and steal it away from you, then you're there to upset. And if you upset them, it's a real upset.
Yep.
So it goes deeper than just being someone who's talented and can't get a shot, and
Yep.
people don't
Yep.
understand where the
Yep.
can't get a shot comes from. The can't get a shot comes from we ain't doing business with you because you're bad business. You're
Yep.
actually an upset artist. You
Yep.
feel me?
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep.
man,
Yep. Yep. You already know the way the game go, man.
there's so many places we can go with this, man. But I would ask, from a coaching standpoint, what separates you, or what separates you from the rest of the competitors that I would say your competitors, your peers would be young coaches, up and coming who are relatively unproven. What separates you from the pack and makes you special in your school or your system?
So honestly, I personally, like I said, this is something I think about all the time. Again, because it's a business. So what would make people want to come to me? For one, I say just from personal experience. Like I said, yeah, I didn't get to make it to the actual professional level, but I've sparred with it at least 25 different professionals. I mean, like, still, I sparred with guys that are undefeated right now. You know, what I mean, 20-0. I sparred with Isaac Darbo. I don't know, I'm sure you guys know Isaac Darbo. Like he came down to Florida for a little bit and like linked up with me and my coach and like shit. We ran him through a training camp before he fought Navarrete for the second time. And like I said, we got to meet his brother. Train with his brother and stuff down on Clearwater Beach. Both his little brothers. You know what I mean? Like they all know who Mike is, who Hammerhead is. If you ask them about me, you know what I mean. But so not only just from doing it myself, because it's different to just tell somebody to do something and then not know what it's like, and then not only that is I am a coach I'm still in fighting shape. Yeah, I can't actually physically fight somebody so I don't get hurt, but like I can get in there and show you everything that I'm telling you. I can get in and I
Yes,
can do it honestly longer than pretty much anybody that's gonna get in there. Like you want to challenge me? I can do the same workout as you, longer than you, harder than you. You know what I mean? So like if that's not enough motivation, like then this coach that's gonna show up in just a slide and just sitting back. I'm here to motivate you as well as go through the grind with you. And that's one thing that my fighters can tell you. Like, man, Coach Mike does. He's there with me when I'm running. I'm not just sending you in the runs by yourself. I'm out there running in the trenches with you in the sun. You know what I mean? Like I'm going
right.
through that stuff with you. And then guess what? Like I said, me and my fighter, we was unfortunate. We didn't get a win on Saturday. I'm going through that loss with you. You know what I mean? Like it, win, lose or draw, you know you got somebody that's gonna be here. I'm motivating you. Yes, I'm gonna tell you how I feel, my honest opinion. But again, you got somebody that's gonna uplift you, and you know what I mean. That I got your best intentions. You know what I mean. I'm not just here for you. I'm not here to take your money. You know what I mean, or nothing like that. So
Man, yo, I gotta respect your time, so I'm only gonna ask you a couple more questions. But even there, like I feel like that's what makes me unique. As a certified personal trainer, as a coach, is the fact that I'm willing to work with you. Like if you could, you jump in there and spar them too. If you could, you'd put yourself through all of the necessary sacrifices that you're asking them to do because you're showing that it's more than just theory. It's
right,
something that I've experienced, and it's whether I've done it right or whether I've done it wrong. I know now how to actually implement this knowledge or pass it on to someone else. So,
yep,
yeah, I feel like that's that we all learn from imitation and being willing to actually demonstrate, being the um the archetype
yep,
or their example, their blueprint is a very important part of being a teacher and a coach, and not just someone who helps you lose weight. You feel me, or holds the mitt for
yes,
you.
sir.
But before I get how they could follow you, how they could support you, and what's next for you in your fighter, because we're gonna do a part two where we go a little bit more in depth. But I gotta respect your time. But give us a story, man. Talk to us about um coming up in the game. Talk to us about one of the tournaments. Talk to us about what kept you in boxing through the tough times. Talk to us about any story that comes to mind that you want to share with the people that may act as inspiration, that may be funny, that may be something that just I gotta tell somebody this shit. This shit crazy as fuck. Like
um, Let me see. So I think, I mean, just kind of touch, I guess, on a couple things. Like one thing about boxing that I realized, like boxing honestly brought me like a lot of joy. You know what I mean? And I know that might sound weird to some people, but like honestly, boxing is the one thing that like legit, I feel like it made me happy. It's the only thing that like I realized where I was able to release anger. Like I'm not even lying to you, man. Like I'll go, I'm able to, we all get mad. No matter who you are, everybody gonna get mad about something. And we all got our different outlets. But for us, as it's different when you going in there and you able to just not necessarily beat up on somebody, even just hitting the bag or just hitting the mitts or just shadow boxing, just releasing that tension and that stuff you got built up. I felt like that. Like I say, I don't know that just drove me. So like the more I did it, the more I wanted to do it. The happier it made me feel. Um, but like as far as the boxing, I think like I say, it brought me to open a lot of windows. Like I got to meet a lot of different people. I got a lot of different experiences. Um, I think my most memorable one probably was my international fight. I ended up We had a fight here in Florida. It was Florida versus Puerto Rico versus Ireland, and like literally they brought and the Bahamas. So they brought like a big team from the Bahamas. They brought a big team. They literally flew all these dudes over from Ireland. And we had our Florida team and we had our Puerto Rico team. And basically what it was like they picked, I think it was one fight per weight class, like all the way up from like the lightest to heavyweight. And I was at the 140 division. And honestly, man, like I said, on it, that was just something different to me, bro. Like they literally sang the national anthem and stuff for everybody. Like, and I don't know, like I said, I ain't really know much about Ireland to be honest. Like, and for them to come, they had the people playing the bagpipes. They had on like, they outfits and stuff. I don't know, that shit was cool, man. They know that like I said, they were doing that just for us, just for these select
yeah,
couple fighters. You know what I mean? Like that was dope.
that could be a culture
Um,
shock,
yeah, hell
like a
yeah, man.
culture. Yeah,
And then I think other than that shit, man, I think my next best thing was when I won my third time winning Sugarburg. I was in Mississippi. I went to Mississippi. That was my first time traveling like out of state for a fight. And me and my coach and another guy that was competing, we drove up there literally like, telling my bro, we took us probably I don't know like 13 hours. Like we drove. had to step straight on the scale, and then it was time to fight. You know what I mean? The next day, but I
Yeah,
went up there and I never forget, bro. Like I think that was probably the best knockout I ever had, man. And like leading up into that fight, like you said, man, bro, I had to work. I had to work so hard, bro. I had to work so hard, and like it was kind of. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous, knowing that at that time I was already ranked. I was already ranked number one. So I had to win this one to continue to be number one. You know what I mean? And actually, I take that back. I was tied for number one. It was like four of us that was tied for number one. So I had to win. I had to win to like solidify myself as the number
yeah,
one. And I went up there and like I said, man, bro, I went in there, man. I was digging the dude to the body, bro, and I fucking hit him with an overhand right. Talking about, man, fucking knock this dude out, man. That shit fucking was honestly made me feel good as hell, man. Knowing, like I said, I
yeah.
put in all that work. I drove all that way, you know what I mean, and I was able to, come out with the dub, man. Like that shit meant a lot to me for real, man.
That had to be amazing, man. Those are yes. Thank you for the stories. Thank you for sharing that with us, man. Hey, I'm so sorry. Like this isn't go. This didn't go as smoothly as I wanted it to.
Oh, no
Because
problem, man.
there's so many ways we could take this. Like, I got to give you some unique questions. I can't just give you the script that I had prepared because like there's so many ways we could take this shit. But like I have to know how the people can follow you, how they can support you, what's next for you, and where they can check for you. You feel me?
So my Instagram, I'm Mr. underscore 29baller is BALLIN. Honestly, on Facebook, I'm Mike Riley. I don't really use my Facebook like that, but you can follow me on Instagram. Um, my fighter's name is Nissan Anderson. He goes by Grim Reaper. You can always follow me on his page on Instagram and Facebook. It's the same thing for both of his. Um, honestly, man, like I said, the plans is I got a fight coming back up here in June. Me and the Grim Reaper. Um, Shit, man, I just plan on honestly this summer. I'm trying to get me a couple amateurs that I really want to start, molding them. I got my two kids. My daughter's 5. Honestly, she I think gonna be next Clarissa Shields type chicks. Honestly, man, like my daughter,
Hey.
she's a tough little one, man. But with my kids, I just tell them like I just let them do it whenever they want to, like so when I go to trainings and stuff, if they up for coming, they come. But I ain't gonna force it on them. I'm gonna always teach them how to defend themselves. You know what I mean? But that's not something that, because it is a dangerous sport. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna put that on them. But like I said, but they will know how to whoop somebody's ass. If they're not around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Cuzzo, do me a favor. When we get off of this,
Yes,
just
sir.
text me Instagram. I'm gonna put it in the description so that the
Okay.
people can like for the people who's watching the replay, they could actually go down there, just click your shit and then and come follow you. You feel me?
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. So but damn, man, I want to keep going, but I can't. I gotta respect your time. So look, uh, much appreciated for coming by. This
Of
is our
course.
first boxing interview, and our first coach, on the boxing breakdown interviews. We will have Coach Mike back, and we will have
Of
his
course. Of
fighter,
course.
Nissan. We're gonna do 2 more interviews with these guys, and
Okay.
um, and we will obviously have more in the future as we follow their future and follow their careers. I wanted to say his fighter Nissan is a hell of a fighter, and he had a very
Appreciate that.
tough fight ahead of him, and there can only be one winner, but he definitely ain't a loser in these streets. And we had an amazing time. They're wonderful personalities. We all was debating about the Devin Haney fights and
Oh
all of
yeah. Oh
these other fights.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
got
man.
a
That shit
mind
that
like
gonna start a riot, bro.
yeah, like he got a mind like us. Like he cut like us for real. I just wanted to introduce you somewhat to the LDBC, and I wanted them to, be familiar with you, man. So until next
Appreciate that
time,
for
and
sure,
you can
brother.
just exit off whenever you ready. I'm gonna just do a little commercial, basically telling them how
Okay.
to support the channel and how to follow. But definitely until next time, and
All
I'm
right,
a
brother, for sure.
thank you again, bro. Thank you
Yeah,
again
no
for
problem,
everything.
coach. Hey, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, man, y'all get at me. I'll holler at y'all again next time, all right? All right, peace.
All right, family. So that was again our first interview. I wanted to thank everybody who's coming through, who's came through. D man, my Luke, what's cracking with you, cuzzo? Much appreciated. Everybody, again, everybody who came through. Tay Tay, Ashley's corner, my little brother, like everybody who will see the replay. LDBC family, LDBC all day, TWT, Trilitary. But I just want to finish out with the commercial. But before we do the commercial, I want to say, again, everyone who supported me from jump, and who continues to support me. We have a lot of big things coming. A lot of shifts, but a lot of big things coming, and I feel like I'll have the best to offer you guys. And I'm really looking forward to being consistent and actually delivering on everything that I articulate to you guys. But that said, there's three ways to support the channel, family. Three ways to support the channel. Um, One, way number one, shopusualsuspect6.com, shopusualsuspect6.com, shopusualsuspect6.com. Please support all of the usual suspects. Peruse their gallery. See my OG local shit is up there. They got artist stuff up there, and they got combat tool bag gear. So please get you some combat tool bag gear. We switched a couple things up. We'll think y'all like. We got a little bit of everything there for y'all. Check it out. Wink, wink. Check it out. Fire. And way number two. Again, that's shopusualsuspect6.com. Way number two, and all of the links will be in the description, by the way, after this is uploaded. Uh, Way number two is Amazon.com. We have the Hustle God series. You can type in Hustle God series, Michelangelo Turner, and Amazon.com. 4 books should pop up. The Hustle God Linguistics of Money. That's the language of the 1%. Um, uh, Hustle God, Afro Gold, Daily Gold in My Molding, Hustle God, Afro Gold Part 1, and Hustle God Methodology, uh, or Afro God, excuse me, Hustle God, The Art of the Hustle. And the complete anthology is Hustle God Methodology. It's the digital copy of them all. Excuse me, guys, I got tongue tied at the end. But that's way number two to support. And way number three, you can sponsor a creator or sponsor an athlete. Um, that's Money Sign Hustle God Inc. Money Sign Hustle God Inc. Blah. It was a exciting interview. It was a long day for me, but again, the way to sponsor a creator or sponsor a athlete here is through the Cash App. You can donate anything. Anything goes a long way, and it doesn't have to be now. It could just be when we're top of mind. But that's Money Sign Hustle God Inc. Thank you again. Thank you guys again for stopping by. Uh, it's LDBC only. LDBC versus everybody. LDBC everywhere. And yeah, you successfully reached in your combat tool bag one more again. Until next time, we got a whole lot of interviews, y'all. A whole lot of interviews coming up. Um, look forward to some bodybuilding stuff from me. Look forward to some fitness videos coming. We got a hell of a lot of changes and a hell of a lot of progress to show. So, love you guys. Till next time. Deuces.